Welcome to Wise Acre Estate in Norfolk, Virginia. Love to tell you a little bit about the house. It was built in This is Charlotte. Charlotte is getting ahead of the tour because she thinks we're going outside.
She's so excited.
So the home was built in 1962. The gentleman that built and designed the home was not an architect, but in fact an attorney, obviously a big fan of Frank Lloyd Wright. So sort of the whole definition of the mid-century modern style is uniting indoors with outdoors. So inside we have lots of natural elements such as this limestone, which is the same as the exterior of the home, lots of different kinds of wood, and that unites us with this. Right on the other side of this 20-foot window is Lake Whitehurst. It is in fact a natural spring. So even though the Chesapeake Bay is right on the other side of Shore Drive here, this is in fact fresh water.
Wow.
Fun factoid. There are actually seagulls in Lake Whitehurst. I thought they must be confused. It turns out that seagulls are the only fowl, that's with a W, not a U, that can actually feed in salt water and fresh water. So they may want shrimp, they may want bass, they have their choice. Right across from Lake Whitehurst is Norfolk Botanical Garden right over here. So I am thrilled by the fact that no one will ever be building condos across.
Oh, that's awesome.
This is, unfortunately, it no longer works, but I will never get rid of it.
Oh,
Turntable.
I feel like I'm in that Leonardo DiCaprio movie.
Isn't that amazing?
Catch Me If You
That is
Can, right?
So you've got the turntable, you've got the radio. This was for a reel-to-reel player, which was not here when I got here. And then this is the really creepy intercom system so that you can listen to what your kids are doing.
Ooh.
Oh.
Very weird.
Hotel New Hampshire.
So just for my Airbnb guests to know, it does not function. I am not eavesdropping.
That
It
is
does look a little
an
defunct.
interesting feature, though.
Isn't that awesome?
I mean, like,
So I
that's
actually,
history. That is cool.
I actually had someone from Newtone come out to see if they could repair the turntable, and the guy said, "Oh my God, I've seen these in textbooks." Yeah, no idea how to fix it.
Wow.
No parts.
Oh,
Wow.
But it is a cool part of this very modern home, so it will remain. So because I like to think out of the box as much as possible, this dining room table was custom designed by a very dear friend of mine. So Mark actually started with a tree. The cherry tree was cut down. He manufactured the tree into planks. And from there is this crazy process called electrocution, where you put nails in the wood and it goes and creates these capillaries. He then puts I asked for blue cobalt because I wanted it to look like a river moving.
It's gorgeous.
So he puts the pigment in here and then 6 coats of epoxy.
Wow.
So when Mark delivered this table, I said, "Oh shit, no one can eat off of this. It's art."
It's perfect.
But I got over that. So another
That is
fun
gorgeous.
element of the house.
I love this kitchen.
So as I said, house 1962, I am so happy to say. Kitchen rebuilt in 2016.
I love the glitter and the countertop.
You might have noticed, I like sparkly things.
I do too. It's beautiful.
So there are 2 different kinds of ports in here. Over here and over here, we have the little sparkles. And here we have the chipped glass. So as you can imagine, in a 1962 house, kitchens and bathrooms do not always age so well. So we started from scratch in here. The whole aesthetic of mid-century modern style is simple lines. So in here, we kept everything pretty straightforward. You were not going to have Mediterranean molding around the top. You're not going to have chair rails. That is simply not what Frank Lloyd Wright would approve of. I do love this backsplash.
Oh my God.
So I brought in this shiny gray lacquered cabinet, and then turquoise and mint green as the dominant colors in the kitchen.
It's perfect.
And fun fact, 2 fun facts. This kitchen sink is in fact original. Oh. So
This is awesome.
Who has ever seen a triple stainless steel sink? This was part of the original house. So when I redid the kitchen, this was the starting point. Fun fact.
Was it here or was it in a different area?
It was, the island was more aligned to the door. So the whole island went like that. And I just thought, that makes more sense.
Oh yeah, that uses the space way better.
Fun fact number 2, that window was not there because in 1962 we cooked and then we entertained. Obviously, this view is what it's all about.
Yeah.
So my contractors did a very fine job of making it look as if it was always meant to be there.
That's
I'm in
stunning.
love with this kitchen.
The previous kitchen.
Oh, get out of here!
So
Oh, wow.
this refrigerator was right here.
Wow. Oh yeah.
So you can see it was completely
Oh,
filled
yeah.
in.
Wow.
There is grout tile here, which nobody loves. And here's that stainless steel sink. So this is a very flattering photo. I tried to make the lighting pick up the hue of the wood, but it was pretty much beat to hell. So you can see there's the dining room right there. This is the window here, and then the sink at a slightly different angle. So Quist is like Captain Crunch, except it didn't tear up the roof of your mouth.
True.
Yeah. Kind of the same cereal.
Yeah,
Quaker
it wasn't as
Quaker
sharp.
Oats, but much more gentle on a
I
kids.
love Twist. And little alien was so cute.
What was I getting ready to say? So, let's proceed. Like the rest of the house, our guest bathroom is a little bit unexpected. Won't you follow me? So here we not only have your expected seating, but for some reason we also have some bonus seating in here. I cannot explain it, but I love it.
It's great for getting ready for a wedding.
Yeah, definitely.
And then our interesting tidbit here.
Yeah, that is one of my favorites. Wow. It's not every house that you can say Johnny Cash has pulled it out. This hallway is known as the gallery. So the horizontal wood is very typical of Frank Lloyd Wright homes. The difference is Frank Lloyd Wright believes his homes are in fact the art. I obviously ignored the master, and while you do not fill a Frank Lloyd Wright home with furniture, you will see there's barely an inch of wall space, because I have so much fun displaying the things that make me think, and more so make me smile.
Amen. Words to live by.
So we have 2 guest rooms. Vanessa, I'm going to let you just take a walk through, and then you'll see the
Thank you.
Jack and Jill back between.
I was so into Greece. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh.
Oh, me too. I have them. Well, I have her, and I have a guy that looks like him.
Yeah.
That is so cute.
That is my favorite movie of all time.
Oh, that's our favorite go-to holiday movie.
It is the best.
Color that's sunken in.
Oh, wow, I like the shadow. That is really neat.
Honestly.
I love the floor in there. Stone look. That is cool. Oh, yellow. Oh, my God. This is beautiful. I love that.
That I put in. So the desk was built in. I put in the Formica because
Sorry.
I don't have Formica.
Oh, I love this bathroom.
Ooh. Oh man. What a view too. You get it on most sides of the
There
house.
are lake views from every room,
That's awesome.
except that little bathroom.
That's all right.
I'm sorry.
It has its own.
So I moved here, and I guess we'll talk about this when we sit down. I moved here 8 years ago, and the house was beat up. So the ones have been here about 8 years.
Wow.
So my previous next door neighbors next to this house, Loretta grew up next door as a kid. So she actually saw this house being built, and her mother became ill. She inherited the house, and then she and her husband fixed it up. And so they were my neighbors when I moved in. So the original owners, there was Guy Doherty, he was an attorney, and his wife, Margaret, was a professor at Old Dominion University in Norfolk. So here's the cool part. Margaret's daddy was George Hay, the founder of the Grand Ole Opry. So when George Hay retired, he moved to Virginia Beach to be closer to his daughter. George Hay is actually buried in Virginia Beach. For some reason, he was not buried in Nashville. So when he died, there was a memorial, and my neighbor Loretta told me that after the memorial, there was a gathering here, and all of this Nashville royalty came to the house because Loretta saw it. She was a kid in 1968, I believe. And so Minnie Pearl was this very famous Nashville luminary who she was on a show called Hee Haw, and she was always known for wearing a hat with a tag. So Loretta said Minnie Pearl, who apparently was a very elegant lady, was here without the hat. So some people of a certain age have heard of Minnie Pearl, but everyone knows Johnny Cash. So Johnny Cash, there's a picture in the local newspaper, the Virginian Pilot, of Johnny Cash at that memorial. I researched his timeline to try to figure out where he was at this certain point. He played in Norfolk. He played in Norfolk. I actually grew up in Lynchburg, Virginia, went to James Madison University in the Shenandoah Valley of Virginia, worked in Metro Washington, living in Alexandria and Arlington, Virginia, and then moved to New York. Now here I am in coastal Virginia. It's interesting. I regard Lynchburg, Northern Virginia, and Hampton Roads, coastal Virginia, as three different worlds. I don't feel like there is a particular kinship to Central Virginia, which is very conservative, and Northern Virginia, which is essentially Washington, D.C., and coastal Virginia, which is all about water. So I have voted in the same elections most of my life, but I always feel like I'm in new and different worlds.
Do the couples ever come to you for advice as to like where to get their catering from, things like that?
So I, of course, have worked with, I think, every caterer, DJ, officiant, bartender, you name it, in coastal Virginia, including porta potties. So, so I am always happy to make recommendations to my couples. It's very important to find the right vendor, particularly things like your rental company for tables and chairs, because part of my role is to make my couples' weekends drama-free and seamless. So if I have worked with someone that I trust, I am always going to put them on the list and invite them back.
Oh, that's good. Who do you usually like to work with?
So for rentals, there's a company called Affordable and Luxury Rentals. They have been here so many times that when Steve gets off the truck, Charlotte runs up to him and he knows my dog by name. It's just essential that the couples can count on the vendors to deliver what they say they will. So for instance, Affordable, they're here when they promise. They deliver everything. Their pricing is transparent on their website. All of these things really matter to couples. So I want to make sure everyone in my house is treating me with respect and treating my couples like they've won the sweepstakes, because we're all in this together.
What do you think was one of the more challenging aspects of transitioning over into doing events?
I had a luxurious, gentle ride into moving down here, freelance writing, starting Airbnb, and then evolving into events. There was this pivotal point, Vanessa, where I had a writing gig for 6 hours a day. So I would get a story assignment and I'm working on that story and I'm thinking, damn it, I got to change the sheets. I got to get the house vacuumed. My cleaning crew is here and we have got to polish up. I don't have time to write this anymore. So there did come this really scary moment where I said, it's time for the writing gig to go, because my hosting, my Airbnb, and my events are not only more lucrative, but I gotta be spot on and make sure that that bed is made and those pillowcases are clean. And so I, after 4 years, let go of this phenomenal writing gig I had and just said, I'm all in. I am Mr. Rourke from Fantasy Island now.
How do you recognize someone from Virginia?
So I grew up in a part of Virginia, Lynchburg, which is very much considered the South. So in the South, everyone has a crazy aunt. And I have bragging rights to the same. Now, I say this with great love, but Aunt Lottie and Aunt Gypsy lived in a beautiful 2-story colonial house in Lynchburg, in the cellar, because the house was too good to use. So Aunt Lottie was married to Howard. They never had children. Howard died and left Lottie plenty of money to take care of herself and her sister, Gypsy, who was never married. But all of my life as a kid, I would go visit them in the cellar with concrete floors and pipes, and they slept in the cellar. And Aunt Lottie, who lived to the age of 190, that lady had a long, long life, would climb the stairs to the kitchen on the first level of the home and walk back down the stairs to bring Charles some apple juice, young Charles, that would be me. But otherwise, they always lived in the basement of their home, and all of the furniture was covered. Beautiful antiques. Too good to use. So there is my Southern Virginia legacy crazy aunt story. So when I was thinking of leaving New York City, I have friends that live in Virginia Beach, and ironically, I hate the ocean. I don't like cold salt water. I don't like hot sand. I don't like the grittiness. So it was a terrible fit on paper. So I came down here and I had a list of 14 houses to see when I got here. So I was very prepared for the journey, and I knew I wanted one story because the plan is I'm gonna grow old here and I don't wanna be climbing stairs. So one story. Water would be nice, just nowhere near the Atlantic Ocean, which automatically cuts out an enormous swath in coastal Virginia, but obviously we have lots of lakes and lots of water here. So one by one, I go to each house and I go to open houses, and you know in a moment when you walk in if it's a no, if it's a maybe, or if it's a oh hell no. A lot of hell no's. I spent 13 years renovating an apartment in Brooklyn, so I'm kind of fearless when it comes to homes that need some love. Well, I had a list of 14 homes, and I walked in number 14. We're sitting in that home right now. So I did not have a realtor that day because this was exploratory. So the house was so beat to hell that the sliding doors in the porch right behind us were kind of hanging on their frames. So what would you do? Try to break in the house. So I tried to break in the house, and who the hell knew there was an alarm? Yeah, set the alarm off. So thought, I think I'll come back tomorrow with a realtor. So the following day, I walked in the house, and it needed so much work. And I literally said to my realtor, Katie, oh shit, I think I'm home. So within the first 8 months, I replaced the heating and cooling, all of the sliding doors that were hanging on their frames, all of the windows, except thankfully the very large windows in this great room, which go up 20 feet. I brought in a gas line. There was a pool in the backyard. Unfortunately, the pool was falling into itself. So the walls on the side of the pool had caved in. It was a concrete pool, 10 feet deep, and it had cracks in it with trees growing out of the pool. So I thought, this is Virginia, not Fort Lauderdale. We're filling in the pool and getting a hot tub. So all of those things were done within the first 6 months. Then full bath, master bath, completely gutted. And that is all before I'd ever heard of Airbnb. So by the time this magical guest staying in your house with the owner there, the term is home share, started, all of the heavy lifting had been done. So 2 years later, the kitchen was completely redone. And so now it's just a lot of polish from there. New patio, just lots of smaller, more cosmetic projects. But the miracle, Vanessa, this is the coolest thing. My house is taking care of me now. So what a gift. I get to meet these beautiful couples making memories in my house and get to be everything from the host to their uncle to their shrink for a weekend, and then continue making this house more and more of a home and hopefully a showplace for years to come.